Liam had always enjoyed the quiet life at the edge of Willow Creek. His house stood on a small hill surrounded by trees, wildflowers, and the gentle flow of the creek. Every morning, he would walk along the water, watching the sun reflect on the surface and listening to the birds sing. In the evenings, he liked to sit on his porch with a cup of tea, feeling the cool breeze on his face. Life was calm and peaceful, exactly how he liked it. One bright morning, Liam decided to inspect the wooden bridge he had built years ago. The bridge connected his land to the main road, and he had spent months planning and constructing it. Every plank had been carefully placed, and he had tested its strength several times. He knew it could hold both people and vehicles safely. Liam enjoyed maintaining the bridge, treating it as a symbol of his hard work and independence. As he approached, Liam noticed something strange. The ground around the bridge was disturbed. Tire tracks and footprints marked the soil. Some of the wooden planks were splintered, and a few posts were lying broken on the grass. Liam's heart sank. He had never seen the bridge in such a state. He hurried across the small clearing and saw a familiar face. Karen, the president of the Willow Creek HOA, was standing near the bridge. Her hands were on her hips and her expression was firm. Liam knew she had a reputation for being strict. She often reminded neighbors about rules, fines, and restrictions. But Liam had never imagined she would interfere with his property so directly. "What happened here?" Liam asked calmly, though his voice carried a hint of frustration. Karen turned to him. "We had to remove the unsafe bridge," she said firmly. "It was a hazard. People complained about it. We had no choice." Liam stared at her, trying to understand. "This bridge is mine," he said slowly. "I maintain it carefully. It is not unsafe. You should have asked me before doing this." Karen's eyes narrowed. "We thought it was dangerous. We acted in the best interest of the community." Liam shook his head. "You didn't check who owned it, did you?" Karen hesitated but did not answer. Liam looked past her at the broken bridge. It was not just any bridge. It was the only road leading into the Willow Creek neighborhood. Without it, cars could not enter or leave. He realized immediately that the HOA had cut off access for themselves and all their neighbors. A few residents began to appear at the edges of the street, curious about the commotion. Some carried groceries and others walked dogs. They stopped in confusion when they saw the destroyed bridge. Liam could see worry spreading across their faces. "Karen," he said, raising his voice slightly to get attention, "you have no idea what you just did. This bridge is not just a crossing. It is the only road in and out for your neighborhood. You have trapped everyone here." Karen looked uncomfortable. She did not speak immediately. She glanced at the small crowd gathering behind Liam. Neighbors whispered among themselves. Some shook their heads. Others looked at Liam as if waiting for him to explain. Liam knew he had to act quickly. He took a deep breath and addressed the neighbors. "Everyone, please stay calm," he said. "I know this is frustrating. The bridge belongs to me and it is safe. We can fix this situation without panic." One of the neighbors, Mrs. Harper, stepped forward. "We can't get out to go to work or school," she said, her voice shaky. "What are we supposed to do?" Liam nodded. He understood her concern. "I will find a solution," he promised. "But we need to speak with the HOA first. We cannot make decisions in anger. Safety and communication are important." Karen finally spoke again. "I still think the bridge was dangerous," she said softly. But her tone lacked the firmness from before. Liam noticed a slight hesitation in her voice. "Dangerous? Maybe in your eyes because you didn't understand it," Liam said. "I built this bridge to hold weight safely. I tested it myself, and it has been used for years without issue. The real problem is not the bridge. The problem is acting without knowing the facts." Karen looked down, clearly unsure of how to respond. Liam continued, keeping his tone steady. "You should have asked before taking action. Now you have a problem bigger than safety. You have affected everyone in the neighborhood. It is time to fix it responsibly." The residents began to murmur again, expressing concern. Liam realized that this situation could escalate quickly if not handled properly. Some children played nearby, unaware of the tension but watching with curiosity. Their parents moved closer, trying to understand the situation. Liam decided to inspect the damage more closely. He walked carefully along the broken planks, examining the posts and supports. The bridge had been damaged, but it was repairable. He could rebuild it, and he knew it would be stronger than ever. He also realized that this was not just about physical repair. It was about rebuilding trust and communication between neighbors and the HOA. Karen approached him again. "I didn't realize how important this bridge was," she admitted. "We thought it was just a small structure." Liam nodded. "It may look small, but it is vital. You cannot make decisions that affect others without understanding the consequences. This is a lesson for everyone here, including you." Some of the neighbors stepped closer, showing their support for Liam. They nodded and whispered agreements. Liam felt a sense of responsibility, not just for his property but for the community as a whole. He turned to Karen. "We need to call a meeting," he said. "Everyone who lives here should be involved. We will discuss how to repair the bridge safely and how to avoid problems like this in the future." Karen sighed and nodded. "You're right. I will arrange a meeting with the HOA and all the neighbors. We need to fix this together." As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Liam stood on the edge of the broken bridge and looked at the creek below. He felt a mixture of frustration and determination. The situation was unexpected, but he knew he could handle it. He had built the bridge with care, and he would restore it with care. Neighbors began returning to their homes, some still worried, others relieved that Liam was taking charge. Karen went back to the HOA office, making phone calls to arrange the meeting. Liam stayed by the bridge a little longer, planning the repairs and thinking about how he would explain the situation to everyone. The day was quiet again, but Liam knew the calm was temporary. There would be questions, arguments, and perhaps even more surprises, but he was ready. He had always believed in solving problems through patience and understanding. The broken bridge was only the beginning of a story that would teach lessons about respect, responsibility, and the importance of communication. As he walked back to his house, Liam felt a small sense of hope. The bridge could be fixed and the neighborhood could work together again. It would take time, but he was certain that with cooperation, everyone could find a way forward. For the first time that morning, Liam smiled. Challenges might come unexpectedly, but they also brought opportunities to learn, to teach, and to grow stronger as a community. He would face this challenge head-on and make sure the Willow Creek neighborhood remained safe, connected, and respectful. The broken bridge was not the end. It was the beginning of something new, and Liam was ready to guide the way. After the morning's unexpected chaos, Liam knew he could not wait any longer. He had to address the situation directly with Karen and the HOA before it got worse. The destroyed bridge was more than a simple piece of wood. It was the only road connecting Willow Creek's neighborhood to the outside world. Without it, families were trapped, children could not go to school, and emergency vehicles could not enter if needed. Liam walked purposefully toward the small office that served as the HOA headquarters. The building was modest, painted white with a green roof, and had a small porch where Karen often stood to greet residents. Today she was already there, speaking into her phone with a serious expression. When she hung up, she noticed Liam approaching. Her posture stiffened and she crossed her arms. "Good morning, Karen," Liam said calmly. "We need to discuss the bridge situation." Karen gave a tight smile. "Liam, I understand your concern, but the bridge was unsafe. We acted to protect the community." Liam shook his head. "Unsafe? I built that bridge carefully. I maintain it regularly. It is sturdy and reliable. The problem is not safety. The problem is that you acted without checking who owns it or how important it is." Karen's eyes narrowed slightly. "We received complaints. People said it looked weak and dangerous. We had no time to ask." "I see," Liam replied. "You assumed. That is a mistake. Assumptions can create problems bigger than the ones you try to solve. Now your own neighbors are affected. They cannot leave or enter their homes safely. You need to fix this before it becomes worse." Karen shifted uncomfortably. She had expected resistance, but Liam's calm and firm tone made her pause. She realized he was right. She had acted too quickly without understanding the full consequences. "I didn't know it was the only road in," Karen said quietly, almost to herself. "We just thought it was a small, private bridge. I did not think it connected the whole neighborhood." Liam nodded. "Exactly. And now we have a problem. We need a solution that works for everyone." A few neighbors had started gathering outside, curious about the conversation. Some came forward, their faces showing concern, while others whispered among themselves. A woman named Clara spoke up. "Liam is right. We cannot leave or go anywhere. We need the bridge fixed, but we also need someone to take responsibility. Karen looked at the small crowd. She realized the tension was growing. Parents were worried about children, and some residents had jobs that required them to travel. She felt a mix of embarrassment and concern. I will arrange a meeting with the HOA and the community, Karen said finally. We need to talk about what happened and how to repair the bridge. Liam nodded. That is a good start. But we need more than a meeting. We need a plan. We cannot wait too long. People need access, and this cannot happen again. Karen hesitated, then gestured for Liam to follow her inside. She led him into the small office. There was a desk with papers stacked neatly, a computer in the corner, and several chairs. She motioned for him to sit. Let's talk calmly, she said. I want to understand your point of view. Liam took a seat and began to explain. This bridge is not just a structure. It is the connection for everyone in your neighborhood. You cannot act without checking facts. If something similar happens again, it could be much worse. People could get hurt or stranded. We need communication, permission, and planning before decisions are made. Karen listened carefully. I see now that we made a serious error. I did not consider the impact. I acted quickly to resolve what I thought was a problem, but I made it worse. Liam appreciated her honesty. Acknowledging a mistake is the first step toward fixing it. Now we must focus on a solution. We can rebuild the bridge safely. I am willing to help with the design and the work, but we need cooperation from the HOA and the residents. Karen nodded slowly. I can get the approval from the HOA board and inform the community. I think we can work together on this. Just then, one of the neighbors, Mr. Allen, knocked on the office door and peeked inside. Is it true, Liam? Can we get out if the bridge is fixed? Yes, Liam said reassuringly. We are working on a solution. Karen and I are planning to rebuild the bridge safely. Once it is done, everyone will have access again. Mr. Allen smiled faintly. Good. We were starting to worry. My daughter has school and my wife needs to go to work. We cannot stay trapped here. Karen glanced at the concerned faces of her neighbors and realized the full extent of the impact. We underestimated the situation, she admitted. I thought it was just a small matter, but now I see it affects everyone. I promise we will act quickly. Liam felt a small sense of relief. At least now Karen understood the severity of her actions. That is a start, he said. We need to rebuild the bridge stronger and safer. I will guide the construction, and the HOA will help organize resources. Everyone will need to work together. Karen smiled faintly. We can do that. I will call the board members and inform the residents. We will need volunteers, materials, and a schedule. Liam nodded. Good. I can create a plan for the construction. It will take time and effort, but it will be worth it. This bridge will not just connect land. It will connect the community. Karen seemed to consider his words. You are right. This bridge is more than wood and nails. It represents trust, responsibility, and cooperation. I did not realize that before. At that moment, more neighbors arrived outside the office, some curious, some concerned, and others ready to help. Children peeked around corners, wondering if they could play near the creek again. Liam stepped outside to address everyone. Neighbors, he called, we have a plan. The bridge will be rebuilt safely and everyone will have access again. Karen and the HOA will help organize resources. We will need volunteers and I will supervise the work. Together we can fix this problem and ensure it does not happen again. The crowd murmured, a mix of relief and cautious optimism spreading among them. Mrs. Harper smiled and nodded. Thank you, Liam. You are helping all of us. Karen stepped forward. I apologize for the inconvenience and worry we caused. We will cooperate fully to rebuild the bridge. I also promise to communicate better in the future. Liam smiled. Thank you, Karen. That is all anyone can ask for. Mistakes happen, but we can fix them by working together. Over the next hour, they discussed the construction plan, the schedule, and the materials needed. Volunteers signed up, including families and young adults who wanted to help. Karen promised to coordinate with the HOA board to ensure approval and support. As the sun began to lower in the sky, Liam returned to the bridge site. The broken planks and posts looked less intimidating now. He could envision the new bridge taking shape, stronger, safer, and more reliable. The thought filled him with determination and hope. Neighbors began returning to their homes, reassured that the situation was under control. Children played nearby, excited to see the bridge repaired and ready to cross again. Liam knew the work ahead would be challenging, but it would also bring the community closer together. For the first time since the bridge was destroyed, Liam felt confident that a solution was possible. Karen's cooperation, the support of neighbors, and careful planning would ensure that Willow Creek's only road would be restored safely. As he walked back to his house that evening, Liam reflected on the events of the day. A simple misunderstanding had caused chaos, but it also revealed the importance of communication, responsibility, and patience. He knew the bridge was more than a way to cross the creek. It was a symbol of connection, not just between land but between people. Tomorrow the real work would begin. Liam would lead the construction, and the neighborhood would come together. This confrontation with Karen had been tense, but it was necessary. It had opened the door to understanding, cooperation, and a stronger community. The broken bridge was no longer just a problem. It was an opportunity to teach lessons, strengthen bonds, and ensure that Willow Creek remained a place where people cared for one another. Liam felt ready for the challenge. The morning sun rose over Willow Creek, casting a warm glow on the broken bridge. Liam stood near the edge, looking at the splintered wood and the posts lying scattered on the grass. Yesterday had been a whirlwind of emotions. He had confronted Karen, spoken with neighbors, and planned the initial steps toward repairing the bridge. But today he realized the challenge was much bigger than he had first thought. As he walked along the creek, Liam considered the impact of the bridge's destruction. It was not just a simple structure connecting his land to the road. It was the lifeline for every family in the neighborhood. Without it, children could not walk to school, adults could not drive to work, and essential services could not reach the homes beyond the creek. The bridge was more than wood and nails. It was a symbol of access, safety, and community. Liam noticed the neighbors gathering near the edge of the property. Some were carrying bags while others walked slowly, trying to find a way to cross. Their faces showed worry and frustration. Among them was Mrs. Harper, who had young children. She waved at Liam and he walked over. "We cannot stay here forever," Mrs. Harper said, her voice tinged with concern. "My children need to go to school. We cannot be trapped." "I understand," Liam replied gently. "That is why we need a plan. The bridge can be rebuilt. It will be stronger and safer than before. But we need everyone to work together and stay calm until we start construction." At that moment, Karen arrived, looking uneasy, but determined. She had spoken with the HOA board and informed the neighborhood about the situation. Now she wanted to see the problem firsthand and participate in finding a solution. "I didn't realize the full impact until I saw everyone here," Karen said. "I thought removing the bridge would solve a safety concern. I never imagined it would affect so many people." Liam nodded. "This situation has taught all of us a lesson. Decisions that affect others must be made carefully. Assumptions can cause serious problems. But now we know, and we can fix it together." Karen looked at the broken bridge. "I see that now. We need a long-term solution, not just a quick fix. I want to help." Liam felt a small sense of relief. Karen's willingness to cooperate would make the process smoother. "Thank you, Karen. Your cooperation is important. We can rebuild the bridge in a way that benefits everyone. It will be strong, safe, and accessible, but we need to work together." Just then, Mr. Allen stepped forward. "I can help. I have some experience with construction and tools. If we all contribute, we can finish faster." Liam smiled. "That is exactly what I am hoping for. Volunteers and cooperation will make this project successful. We will not just repair a bridge. We will strengthen our community." The neighbors began discussing among themselves. Some suggested materials while others talked about schedules. Children played nearby, curious but careful not to get too close to the broken planks. The air was filled with a sense of cautious optimism. Liam decided it was time to inspect the damage more thoroughly. He carefully walked along the bridge's edge, testing the remaining posts and examining the structure. The bridge had been damaged by tools and machinery, not by natural wear, which meant it could be rebuilt stronger. Liam made mental notes about the materials and techniques he would use. As he worked, Karen observed quietly. "I didn't know how important this bridge was until now," she admitted. "I assumed it was just a small crossing. I thought removing it would solve a minor problem, but I see it affects everyone." Liam nodded. "It is easy to make mistakes when you do not have all the information. That is why communication is essential. Now that we understand the consequences, we can move forward responsibly." Karen looked at him with a mixture of regret and determination. "I want to make this right. I will help organize the HOA and the neighbors. We can start the work as soon as possible. Liam felt a sense of hope. Karen's cooperation, combined with the willingness of neighbors to help, meant the bridge could be rebuilt efficiently. He also realized that this experience could teach the community an important lesson about understanding and responsibility. By mid-morning, a small group of volunteers had gathered. Mr. Allen brought tools and a few wooden planks, while Mrs. Harper and other residents helped organize materials. Even children were excited to participate in small ways, such as carrying lighter items or cheering for the workers. Liam supervised the initial planning, explaining how the bridge would be rebuilt safely. "This bridge must be strong enough to hold vehicles and people safely," Liam explained. "We will reinforce the supports and carefully place the planks. Everyone must follow instructions and work carefully. Safety is our priority." Karen nodded, taking notes. "I will make sure the HOA communicates with everyone. We need volunteers, schedules, and supplies. This will require coordination, but it is possible." As they discussed the plan, a sense of teamwork began to emerge. Neighbors who had been frustrated earlier now worked together, sharing ideas and resources. The tension from yesterday started to fade, replaced by determination and cooperation. Liam paused for a moment, looking at the broken bridge and the small group of people preparing to rebuild it. He felt proud but also thoughtful. The bridge had become more than a structure. It was a test of patience, understanding, and community spirit. How people responded to this challenge would define the neighborhood for years to come. "Everyone, listen," Liam said, raising his voice slightly. "This bridge is important, but the real lesson here is about how we treat each other. We must communicate, respect property, and work together. The bridge will connect land, but our cooperation will connect hearts. That is more important than wood or nails." Karen smiled faintly. "You are right. I did not think about that before. I only focused on rules and complaints. Now I see that understanding is more important than quick action." Mrs. Harper stepped forward. "I am grateful, Liam. You are showing us how to turn a problem into a solution. The bridge will not just restore access, it will show the strength of our community." Liam nodded. "Exactly. The broken bridge is an opportunity. We can rebuild it stronger, and we can also rebuild trust. That is what matters most." As the morning turned into afternoon, neighbors began moving materials closer to the site. They cleared debris and arranged wooden planks, metal nails, and tools. Liam worked alongside them, directing the placement of supports and checking measurements. Karen assisted in organizing the volunteers, making sure everyone knew their tasks. Children watched eagerly, learning from the process. Some carried small planks or helped with measuring, while others cheered for the workers. The atmosphere, once tense and frustrated, became filled with energy, collaboration, and hope. Liam took a short break and sat on a nearby rock, looking at the creek. The water flowed calmly, reflecting the sunlight. He realized that just as the creek kept moving despite obstacles, the community could overcome challenges if they worked together. The broken bridge was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of a lesson in responsibility, understanding, and teamwork. Karen approached him. "Liam, thank you for your patience. I understand now that we need to act carefully, communicate properly, and involve the community in decisions. I will make sure this lesson is remembered." Liam smiled. "That is all I hope for, Karen. Mistakes happen, but what matters is how we respond. Today, we have a chance to make things right, not just for the bridge, but for everyone here." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the creek, Liam felt a quiet sense of satisfaction. The broken bridge had revealed weaknesses, but it had also revealed strength. Neighbors had started to work together. Karen had recognized her mistake, and Liam had guided the first steps toward a solution. Tomorrow would bring the real construction. But tonight, he could rest knowing that the neighborhood was beginning to come together. The bridge would be rebuilt stronger, safer, and more reliable, but the bonds formed during this time would last far longer than wood and nails. Liam took one last look at the bridge before heading home. He felt a mixture of determination, hope, and anticipation. The challenge ahead would not be easy, but with patience, cooperation, and understanding, Willow Creek would recover. The broken bridge had taught them all a lesson, and Liam was ready to lead the way. The next morning, Liam woke early, feeling a sense of purpose. The sun was just rising, casting golden light across the creek and the broken bridge. Today would be the first day of rebuilding. He had already planned the materials, the layout, and the schedule. But more importantly, he knew this was a chance to strengthen the bond between neighbors. As he walked toward the bridge, he saw Karen waiting with a clipboard in hand. She had already started organizing volunteers and gathering supplies from the neighborhood. "Good morning, Liam," she said. "I spoke with the HOA board. They have approved using funds for materials, and several neighbors are ready to help." "That is excellent," Liam replied. "We will work together and finish this safely. We need teamwork and careful attention to every detail." The first volunteers began to arrive. Mr. Allen carried a toolbox, while Mrs. Harper brought extra wooden planks. Teenagers from the neighborhood arrived with enthusiasm, ready to learn and assist. Even the children participated in small ways, carrying lighter materials or cheering for their parents. Liam felt a surge of hope. The entire community was coming together. He gathered everyone near the broken bridge and addressed them. "Thank you all for coming," he began. "This bridge is important for everyone, but what matters more is how we work together. We will rebuild it carefully and safely. Everyone will have a role, and everyone will follow instructions. Safety is our first priority, but cooperation is equally important." Karen stepped forward. "I will help coordinate volunteers," she said. "We will assign tasks and ensure that materials are used properly. Together we can rebuild this bridge stronger than before." Liam nodded. "Perfect. Let's begin by clearing the broken pieces. We need a clean foundation before we place new supports." Neighbors worked efficiently, lifting splintered planks and moving them to the side. Liam supervised, ensuring that everyone handled tools carefully. Children watched from a safe distance, fascinated by the teamwork and construction process. Once the debris was cleared, Liam explained the first step. "We will place new support posts first," he said. "These will be strong and deep, holding the bridge firmly in place. Everyone must measure carefully and secure the posts properly. Accuracy is very important." Volunteers split into small groups. Mr. Allen helped measure the posts, while Karen assigned neighbors to hold them steady as they were placed into the ground. Liam checked each placement, making sure the supports were perfectly aligned. The posts were sturdy and well secured, forming the backbone of the new bridge. Next, they began placing the crossbeams. Liam demonstrated the proper way to lift and attach each plank. Neighbors followed his instructions carefully, working together to lift the heavy beams and fit them into place. Karen coordinated the teams, ensuring no one was confused or left idle. As the sun rose higher, sweat glistened on the faces of the volunteers, but no one complained. They shared smiles, encouragement, and laughter. Even Karen seemed lighter and more cheerful, walking among the neighbors and offering guidance. Liam realized that this project was bringing out the best in everyone. By midday, the bridge was beginning to take shape. The support posts were firmly in place, and the crossbeams created a strong and level foundation. Liam walked along the structure, testing the strength of each section. Everything was solid and safe. "Look at this," Liam said, turning to Karen. "The foundation is secure. We are ready for the planks that will form the walkway." Karen nodded. "I will assign teams for the planks. We can start placing them carefully, one by one." Neighbors formed teams and began lifting and placing planks. Each plank was measured, aligned, and secured. Liam moved along the bridge, checking each connection and offering tips for efficiency and safety. The teamwork was seamless. Even the children contributed by handing nails, hammers, and small tools to their parents or the volunteers. Their excitement added energy to the work, and their laughter filled the air. The creek flowed quietly beneath the bridge, reflecting the bright sunlight and the determination of the community above. By late afternoon, half of the bridge's walkway was completed. Liam paused to observe the progress. The structure was already stronger than before. He smiled, knowing that careful planning and teamwork had made the difference. Karen approached him. "I never realized how much work goes into building a bridge," she admitted. "And I never understood how important it is to communicate with the community." "Today has been an eye-opening experience," Liam smiled. "It is not just about construction. It is about understanding, patience, and cooperation. When people work together, they can achieve more than they imagine. This bridge is not only a way to cross the creek, it is a way to connect hearts and minds." Karen looked around at the volunteers. "I see that now. I also see the value of taking responsibility. Yesterday's mistakes taught us a lesson, and today we are turning it into action." Liam nodded. "Exactly. We cannot change the past, but we can build a better future. Every plank we place today represents progress, trust, and respect. That is more important than the bridge itself. As the afternoon continued, more volunteers arrived with additional materials. Families brought extra planks, nails, and tools. Liam assigned tasks to ensure efficiency, and Karen helped keep everyone organized. The bridge steadily grew in length, the structure solid and safe. Neighbors began to share stories while they worked, laughing at small mishaps and cheering when a plank was perfectly aligned. Liam noticed that the community's mood had changed. What had started as frustration and tension was now excitement, pride, and cooperation. By late evening, the bridge was nearly complete. The walkway was fully assembled, railings were in place, and the structure appeared stronger than ever. Liam inspected every section, making sure nothing was loose or unstable. Karen walked beside him, checking the work as well. "This is incredible," Karen said quietly. "It looks amazing. I am proud of what we have accomplished together." Liam smiled. "It is more than just the bridge. It is what we have done as a community. We faced a challenge, and instead of letting it divide us, we worked together. That is the true success." The volunteers gathered around to admire the nearly finished bridge. Children ran across it carefully, testing the planks, while adults offered guidance and encouragement. The creek below flowed peacefully, as if approving of the bridge and the teamwork above. Liam addressed the group. "Tomorrow we will finish the final touches, reinforce the railings, and make sure everything is perfect. Today we laid the foundation, not just for the bridge, but for a stronger community. Your efforts and cooperation have made this possible." Karen nodded. "I will make sure the HOA recognizes everyone's contribution. This bridge is now a symbol of teamwork, responsibility, and trust. We will all remember this experience." As the sun set behind the trees, casting long shadows across the creek, Liam looked at the bridge with pride. The wooden planks gleamed in the warm light, and the railing stood firm and steady. What had started as a problem had turned into a triumph of cooperation and determination. Neighbors slowly returned to their homes, tired but happy. Children waved as they left, excited to return tomorrow for the final touches. Liam stayed near the bridge for a while, feeling a quiet sense of satisfaction. The day had been long and challenging, but it had also been rewarding. Liam knew that tomorrow, when the final work was completed, the Willow Creek neighborhood would have not just a strong bridge, but a stronger sense of community and cooperation. The broken bridge was no longer a symbol of conflict. It had become a symbol of hope, teamwork, and understanding. Liam felt ready for the final day of work, confident that the neighborhood would come together once more to complete the project successfully. The next morning, Liam arrived early at the Willow Creek Bridge. The sun had just risen, casting a soft golden light over the creek and the surrounding trees. Today was the final day of construction. The structure was mostly complete, but a few last touches remained. The railings needed reinforcement, some planks needed securing, and the finishing details would ensure the bridge was safe for everyone. Karen was already there, clipboard in hand, speaking with volunteers who had gathered early. Her demeanor was calm and cooperative, a contrast to the tension of previous days. She had learned the value of communication, responsibility, and teamwork. Liam felt grateful that she had embraced the process. "Good morning, everyone," Liam called out to the group of volunteers. "Today we finished the bridge. Safety remains our top priority, but let us also enjoy the process. We have come a long way, and your cooperation has made this possible." Neighbors nodded, ready to work together once more. Children ran around the edges of the construction site, carrying small tools and cheering the adults. Their energy added enthusiasm to the morning, reminding everyone why the bridge was so important. It connected families, homes, and the community. Liam began by explaining the final steps. "We will secure the remaining planks, reinforce the railings, and ensure the entire structure is safe and stable. Everyone will have a role. Follow instructions carefully, and we will finish efficiently." Mr. Allen and several volunteers carried heavy planks to the designated spots, while Karen organized smaller groups to work on securing railings. Mrs. Harper helped children handle lightweight materials, allowing them to participate safely. Liam moved among the groups, supervising and offering guidance. The first task was to secure the remaining walkway planks. Liam demonstrated the proper method to align hammer and attach each plank. Volunteers followed his instructions carefully, lifting the boards into place and checking measurements. Karen assisted by passing tools and confirming each connection. As the sun climbed higher, the bridge slowly transformed from a nearly finished structure into a strong and complete pathway. The community worked seamlessly, communicating effectively and supporting each other. Laughter and encouragement filled the air, replacing the tension and worry that had dominated the first days. "Look at this progress," Karen said, stepping back to observe. "It is amazing. The bridge looks stronger than ever." "Yes," Liam agreed. "It is solid, reliable, and safe. But the real accomplishment is not just the structure. It is how we have come together as a community. That is the lasting achievement." Neighbors continued working throughout the morning, securing railings, checking connections, and ensuring nothing was loose. Children played nearby, careful not to interfere, but cheering every time a plank was perfectly aligned. The creek below flowed gently, reflecting the sunlight and the growing excitement above. By midday, the bridge was almost complete. Liam inspected every section carefully, making small adjustments where necessary. He felt proud not only of the work itself but of how the community had responded. What began as a problem had transformed into an opportunity for unity and cooperation. Karen approached Liam. "I never realized how much effort and planning goes into a project like this," she admitted. "I also understand now how important it is to communicate with residents before making decisions. I will make sure the HOA remembers this lesson." Liam smiled. "It is not just about the construction. It is about respect, responsibility, and teamwork. You have learned that, and so has the entire community. That is more important than the bridge itself." The final planks were placed carefully, each one aligned and secured. Volunteers worked with precision, guided by Liam's instructions and Karen's coordination. Slowly but surely, the bridge took its final form, strong, stable, and safe for everyone to use. Once the walkway and railings were complete, Liam inspected the bridge thoroughly. He tested the strength of the planks, leaned on the railings, and walked across it from one end to the other. Every section was solid. He smiled, satisfied with the outcome. "Everyone, the bridge is finished," Liam announced. "It is strong, safe, and ready for use. Thank you all for your effort, cooperation, and patience. This bridge is a symbol of what we can achieve when we work together." The volunteers cheered, clapping and smiling. Children ran across the bridge, their laughter echoing along the creek. Karen smiled, looking at the completed work with pride. She stepped forward to address the group. "I want to apologize again for the confusion and inconvenience caused by the initial removal of the bridge," Karen said. "We have learned an important lesson about communication, planning, and understanding. Today we have turned a problem into a success story, and I thank everyone for their cooperation." Mrs. Harper nodded. "This bridge is more than wood and nails. It represents teamwork, patience, and responsibility. We have learned how important it is to work together." Liam felt a sense of satisfaction. The broken bridge had created tension, but it had also taught lessons about trust, communication, and community spirit. What had started as a conflict ended with a shared accomplishment and stronger bonds among neighbors. Karen extended her hand to Liam. "Thank you for your guidance. I would not have known how to handle this without your patience and leadership." Liam shook her hand. "We all have something to learn, Karen. Mistakes happen, but what matters is how we respond. Today we have built more than a bridge. We have built understanding and cooperation." The neighbors began to celebrate quietly. Some took photos, others walked carefully across the bridge, and children played along the edges. The atmosphere was filled with joy and relief. Willow Creek was connected once more, and the neighborhood felt united. Later in the afternoon, the community held a small gathering near the bridge. Karen and Liam addressed the neighbors, sharing the story of the reconstruction and the lessons learned. Volunteers were thanked, and everyone acknowledged the importance of communication, respect, and teamwork. "This bridge will serve as a reminder," Liam said, "that when we face challenges, we can overcome them together. Cooperation and understanding are stronger than conflict. Let this bridge symbolize that." Karen added, "I promise the HOA will consult residents before making decisions that affect the community. We have learned that listening, communicating, and respecting property is essential. Today we have rebuilt not just a bridge but trust." Neighbors clapped and nodded in agreement. Children ran across the bridge one last time, their laughter filling the air. Liam watched them, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The bridge was safe, the neighborhood was united, and lessons had been learned that would last for years. As the sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over Willow Creek, Liam stood at the edge of the bridge. The creek flowed steadily beneath, reflecting the light of the evening. He felt a quiet satisfaction, knowing that challenges had been faced and overcome. The broken bridge had become a symbol of hope, cooperation, and perseverance. Karen walked beside him. "This has been an unforgettable experience," she said. "I hope everyone remembers the lesson we have learned. Communication, patience, and teamwork are invaluable." Liam nodded. "Yes, Karen. Today proves that even difficult situations can be turned into opportunities. The bridge is complete, and the community is stronger because of it. That is what matters most." The neighbors returned to their homes slowly, tired but happy. Children waved, families shared smiles, and the sense of unity was stronger than ever. Willow Creek had faced a challenge, but together, they had turned it into a success story. Liam lingered near the bridge, enjoying the peaceful sounds of the creek and the satisfaction of a job well done. He knew that life would continue with its ups and downs, but the lessons learned from this experience would guide him, Karen, and the entire community. Respect, communication, and cooperation had proven stronger than conflict. As darkness fell and the stars appeared in the night sky, Liam finally returned to his house. He looked back one last time at the completed bridge, illuminated faintly by the remaining sunlight. A sense of pride and fulfillment filled him. What had begun as a problem had become a triumph, and the Willow Creek neighborhood was stronger, safer, and more united than ever before. The bridge was no longer just a path over the creek. It was a symbol of understanding, collaboration, and a new beginning for everyone. Liam knew that the memories of this experience would last a lifetime, reminding them all that challenges could be overcome with patience, teamwork, and respect.